Today on Getting Real with the Housewives, we break down the explosive third part of the Real Housewives of New Jersey reunion. Plus, Kroy vs. Kim keeps raging on, and Margaret and Rachel react to Louis' restraining order. Plus, Shannon Beador reacts to Tamara Judge calling her a drunk and a liar.
I know that that's not who I am, and my kids watched the episode with me, and they were pretty upset about it. They're like, Mom, that's not who you are.
We've got that plus so much more on today's Getting Real with the Housewives. Hey guys, Christina Garibaldi here with Us Weekly executive producer Mandy DeCamp, and Jersey has wrapped up, and it was hard to watch.
It was hard to watch, and I watched OC after it, and OC is like a breath of fresh air after a season of Jersey and a 3-part reunion. I'm like, bring on the OC. It's, in my opinion, it's better.
I totally agree with you. As I was watching it, I'm like, oh, I really enjoy this week. Yeah. This is great. I'm like happy to have them back. And Tamara is it's so good to see Tamara back, and the old dynamics that we were used to. I'm excited about this season. I think it's going to be good. I'm very happy that we're kind of leaving Jersey season 13 in the past.
I am so ready, and I think our viewers probably are ready too. Let us know in the comments. Was anyone sad that this season is over? Are you ready to move on to next Jersey?
Definitely. All right, let's see what you guys had to say about last week's show. Lyndon Graham says Teresa needs to go. Bring Caroline to the show. Jen Aiden needs to get off the show and work on her failing marriage. She brings nothing to the show. Boring. Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah, I love that you guys do not hold back. Nika Saliki said, Melissa is a wannabe insecure who has manipulative everything since she and her husband joined the show. Their entrance in season 3 was bashing and trashing Tree. Shameful.
Ooh, yeah. And then one Shannon says, Team Melissa all the way. We have enough hate in our world. Please let go of Teresa and Jen. Focus on the great relationships and true good times. I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, they did say that it's kind of, Bravo's favorite word, on pause until later on. They're not going to be filming over the summer. So maybe we can let the dust settle for a little while. But I feel like everybody's going to be back.
I feel like everyone might be back, but I agree. We just need to move on for a bit. And there's only so much of a feud you can show and do, and especially now. I mean, we'll get into it in our recap of the reunion, but especially now with it seeming like they are just parting ways.
Yeah, no, definitely. There is a big divide in that cast, and I'm not sure how they move forward. But all right, let's get into our news of the weekend. Sheree Whitfield claimed that Kim Zolciak is struggling in her personal life following her split from Kroy. She said on Watch What Happens Live, I am in touch with her, and I was shocked. I thought her and Kroy were going to be forever. I'm really sad for them. According to Sheree, Kim is facing many challenges amid the major change in her life. She said, I've been in contact with her and she's not doing well. She's not doing well. She's taking it really bad. Now, this comes as Kim dropped Biermann from her social media post. You know it's real when you drop the last name from social media. Yeah. This came as she hinted a potential return to Atlanta, which we know will happen later on the season. But she wrote alongside a photo of Lisa Wu, Sheree, and Deshaun Snow saying, see you soon at Bravo TV, hashtag Real Housewives of Atlanta. So fans noticed that she did drop the Biermann after that. And this comes as she just released a statement via her lawyer about the marriage, telling People Magazine, it's really sad the way Kroy is causing our divorce to play out in the media like this, because it could have a profound effect on our children in the long run. To continuously spread lies in an attempt to paint Kim as an unfit mother for his own gain is harmful and incredibly misleading regarding Kim's efforts to raise their children. They went on to say that she remained quiet through the divorce, but the emotional and mental abuse Kim has suffered from this man for so many years has taken a toll on her, and most heartbreakingly, her children. So this is really getting nasty.
It's really getting nasty, but is it Kroy who's letting it play out in the media when she's the one giving statements? So
yeah.
I think it's two-sided. I think that they're both playing nasty here.
Yeah, I think they're both going tit for tat. And, you have to remember the kids are the ones that are going to suffer from all of this. And that's probably what's going to happen because they are old enough to see what is going on in the media.
Yes, they are. And that's sad. Again, I'll never get over this one. It was, I like Sheree had them in for the long haul. So I'm pretty sad about
Seriously.
All right. Well, this is just too much for me. Shannon Beador and ex-husband David Bedore were all smiles again, reuniting for their twin daughter's high school graduation. I mean, I'm happy for them. I'm happy that they're with their daughters and that they showed support together. But I'm just like, how many pictures together are you going to post? Sharon shared a series of Instagram snaps on Monday to commemorate the occasion, including a photo of her posing with her former spouse and the graduates, Stella and Adeline, both 18. She wrote, "So proud of my daughter's graduation. They have grown into such beautiful young ladies, and I can't wait to watch them in their exciting next chapters. Congratulations, Stella and Adeline. I love you." The milestone moment was not the first time that the exes, of course, have crossed paths recently. Earlier this month, she ran into him at a restaurant, which we talked about. More recently, David has made headlines for his continuous split from Leslie. Earlier this month, the estranged couple both filed restraining orders against each other. In a Friday, June 9th filing obtained by Page Six, Leslie alleged that Bedore had been physically abusive towards her, their children, and their pets. She also claimed that David destroyed her property and threatened her. In a subsequent filing of his own, David slammed his ex's legal action as purely retaliatory after he filed for divorce in September of 2022, in which he asked for legal and physical custody of Anna. Ugh, talk about ugly divorces and splits.
Yeah, I mean, he's had 2 ugly divorces now going on. It's like, I don't know. This one is really bad, though.
It's really bad. And I do wonder if it's bringing him and Shannon a little bit closer, because that's also the father of her children. So for someone to accuse him of such harsh things, whether or not they're true, I don't know. Maybe it's bringing them a little closer together to kind of bond over that. I don't really know, but
could be. But yeah, didn't think that we'd see the day of Shannon and David breaking bread together. Didn't think we'd see that. All right, well, let's switch on over to Jersey, and Margaret and Rachel Fuda are sharing their thoughts on Louis' ex-fiance Vanessa Reiser's recent restraining order against him. Rachel told us if she feels like she needs to protect herself, then she has to do what she feels is right. Vanessa, his ex-fiance's attorney, Douglas Anton, exclusively told us that Louis allegedly hired an undercover plant through Bo Dietl, who is our new private detective. So he allegedly hired this person to stalk, harass, and otherwise appear as a patient of the lawyer said, of my client under false pretenses in an attempt to intimidate Reiser, who is a licensed therapist specializing in narcissistic abuse. Interesting. Given that Louis and Bo Dietl have a history and friendship together, Rachel said that she's not surprised that Reiser was able to figure out her fake patient was allegedly someone who worked for the detective's firm. Margaret said, I think it's very telling that Bo Dietl is now admitting that he has worked for Louis. I think it's a sad state of affairs. That's all I have to say. It's pathetic. Louis didn't respond to this yet, but Dietl, who previously denied being hired by Louis, told Page Six that any potential hiring of a private investigator is confidential. So he then told us that Louis should fall on his sword, save his friend's reputation as a private investigator, and protect this young female employee from having her credibility destroyed. So many opinions on Louis after this finale as well. And this is pretty... like if he did this is so wrong to have somebody go undercover, act as a patient, going to this woman's business and trying to get information out of her for this. Like, what's going on with him?
Yeah, no, something's not right. And, they talked about this private investigator on the reunion last night or this week as well. All I have to say is if Louis is back, I want Bo Dietl on the show too.
Yes.
I want to hear
seriously
like, what is going on. But yeah, no, this is messy.
This is very messy, very, very messy. And, he hasn't responded to this yet. But if a lot of these allegations prove to be true, then, Louis is going to have quite a bit of a mess on his hands.
Yeah, I wonder if it'll be such a legal messiness that he won't be allowed to be back on the show, when it gets to that point. I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know.
All right. Well, Brandi Glanville hopes that Kristen Taekman doesn't have the same experience on the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip as she did. The former Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star issued a warning to the New York City alum Sunday as the latter jetted off to St. Bart's to film RHONJ Legacy. So Brandi tweeted, "Bon voyage, Betsy," at Kristen Taekman. Just remember, if any of the other housewives do anything you don't like, just ask for HR. Production will shut down and lives will be ruined. Welcome to our new reality TV. Brandi, of course, exited the show alongside Caroline Manzo after an alleged incident involving inappropriate behavior, which we remember from a few months ago. Wow. So that's interesting.
Interesting. Something tells me Brandi probably won't be back on our Housewives screens anytime soon.
I don't think Bravo's going to allow her to be, and clearly she's not very happy about it.
Definitely not happy, but we still don't have like a release date for Ultimate Girls Trip season 3, and I'm excited about it. Can't wait to see how this Caroline Brandi mess plays out.
Yep, me too.
All right. Well, before we get into this week's recap, we recently caught up with Shannon Beador, who reacted to Tamara Judge calling her a drunk and a liar. Take a look. I mean, what is your reaction to her calling you a drunk and a liar?
It's hard. It's like, I know that that's not who I am. And my kids watched the episode with me and they were pretty upset about it. They're like, Mom, that's not who you are. And sometimes I feel that certain cast members keep trying to throw that label on me. And those are character damaging labels. I feel as though when I'm on the show that I will point out something unkind that a cast member's done, but I try to avoid putting general characterizations out there about people's personalities because it's damaging.
Was it hard for you to hear Tamara saying that you and John were always in a drunken fight?
No, because we'd only been out with them twice, and one of them was a party I was hosting, and I had a bunch of people there, so it was just, it was hard. That whole conversation was hard to hear. Mm-hmm. Because there were inaccuracies in the description. So that was John and my issue was bickering and arguing about stupid things. We didn't have like big, serious abuse, cheating, like major issues. We just argued.
Right. Where do you and Tamara stand now? Was it hard to get that friendship back? Because based on social media, it seems like the two of you, the Trace Amigas are back together. So was it hard for you to get back into that rhythm and flow of this friendship?
You know what you'll see actually as the episodes go forward, that once we did come to that, kind of agreement that we're going to become friends again, it was just an instant. It was like we were right back to where we were 2.5 years ago. So
do you feel like this friendship is stronger now than it was, or is it different?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a certain appreciation that we have for each other as friends.
Yeah.
Because we know what each other meant. I know what she meant to me as a friend. And we were best friends for, I think it was 6 years, so a long time.
Right. Do you feel like the show has gotten a new invigorated energy now that she is back? And I know Vicky comes back as well. Do you feel like this was the right choice to bring her and to bring Vicky back to the mix?
Absolutely. I mean, as there is a certain feeling that the show had when I started the show, and I feel like we're back there. Yeah. I started in season 9, and I just kind of feel like I'm back in season 9 times.
I totally agree with you. Do you want Vicky back full time as well?
Hello. Yes. C. I'll say C.
All right. Well, let's get into this week's episode of OC. And what did you think of Shannon and Tamara? It seems like they're in a better place now, but what did you think of her saying that, Tamara's a fake friend, started attacking her publicly? Like, this was a pretty intense conversation between the two of them.
Yeah, very tense. I had hope for them after the lunch, and then the boat just flipped everything on its side again. So, when Shannon was talking about the guy in the boat being John's son, was it?
Right.
So bizarre. It did show Shannon's true colors. I was kind of team Tamara in that. Tamara says it like it is, and that pisses people off. Mm-hmm. But at least she's not a fake friend.
Right. No, she's not like you said, she tells it like it is. And she clearly was really hurt that Shannon wasn't there for her. And I kind of have a feeling that Shannon did maybe just kind of drop her after she left the show. And it seemed like the same thing maybe happened with Vicky too. So I don't know. Maybe it seems like maybe the two of them can navigate themselves back towards a friendship, but it'll be interesting to see how that plays out over the season.
Definitely. It's interesting though. We watched them for a long time now on our TVs, going from friends to complete enemies, Trace Amigas, so it's interesting to watch it try to come back together. But, it's kind of like they hadn't spoken in 2.5 years, I think it was. So it's like, then you just start to think they're doing it for the cameras, and then it kind of just becomes fake. The whole thing is a fake friendship. So we'll see where it goes.
We'll see where it goes. What do you think of the new housewife, Jen? She's got 5 kids with her ex-husband, talked about, fostering children, adopting her son, and, Shannon not listening to that story. But so far, she seems like a good addition.
She's a great addition, I think. I actually really like her story and everything about this situation. I want to know more about what Gina kind of accused her of, which was she unfaithful? Wasn't she? Her husband was in the other room talking to a woman for hours on the phone. I thought that was interesting. So I definitely want to hear more of her backstory.
Yes.
I'm not sure if we'll get it or if we'll just get her side of it, which may or may not be the truth, but I'm very interested in her.
Very interested, and so excited to see Taylor Armstrong come back. She came for the boat outing, and it seems like she fit in nicely with them. She obviously has a history with a lot of these women, so I think that this is going to be fun to see a new side of Taylor, because she was obviously in a very different place when she was on Beverly Hills. So this will be great.
Yeah, I want to see more of her as well. I assume she's only a friend this season.
Yes, only a friend of, yeah.
She wasn't in the premiere episode, so but I hope we get some of the backstory and get to hear, you know, what she's been through over the past year since she exited the show. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's definitely a good season so far. I mean, we're only a couple of episodes in, but I'm liking this new OC, and I like this group together, and I think everybody kind of fits in nicely.
Yeah, I agree. I loved hearing Heather talking about buying stuff for her kids' dorm rooms. I mean, it's just so over the top, but that's what I like about Heather. It's also what I didn't like about her for a while, but she's come back around to me. I don't know. Almost would call her relatable.
Right. No, I agree. And I think like maybe this season, like not the pressure isn't on her, maybe because there was so much hype of her coming back.
Totally.
And I think she had to like kind of like carry the show last season, and the main focus isn't on her anymore. And I think that that's maybe why it's working. I don't know.
Yeah,
but I like it. All right, well, let's recap the final episode of Jersey. Teresa and Melissa will never come back from this.
No, it's over. I mean, Joe said, like, how about we just forget about each other? Yeah. You forget about me, I'll forget about you. I mean, that's harsh words for brother and sister. Yeah. But there's just, I mean, but then they say things like never say never.
Right. But I don't know, but like Joe Gorga saying that Louis is a woman abuser, and, you know, that like, that he doesn't regret going to the wedding. I mean, these are things that like, and you know, Teresa calling her, Melissa gaslighting, like, these are just things that like, you can't go back from.
No. And Melissa and Trey, if you will, really hate each other.
Yes. Like, oh my God.
Whether or not Joe and Teresa could ever move on, Melissa and Teresa, I don't think can ever move on.
No, but it's so interesting. Like, I forget who said it, but they never had these problems when it was Joe Giudice. It's just since Louis came in the picture. And if all of this stuff that he did was true, like reaching out to John Fuda's ex, you know, wife, girlfriend, I don't know, you know, the mother of his son, and reaching out to Margaret's son. Like, why are you doing all this? And something tells me that John Fuda is not a person that you want to mess with.
No, I mean, he scared me when there was like that off camera. I mean, it was on like the side moment of him where he was just like, tell the truth. Right. It was scary. I was like,
no. And you know, I don't know. He just, and like the way that Louis was speaking, like, you know, I have your number, your day will come, like all this, like, it was just weird. And I don't know. I feel like the red flag there. I mean, he's a walking red flag, but I just wonder if Teresa is starting to see any of this, or if she's just still so much in her love bubble. But something, and then Louis even hiring his own security to come to the reunion. Like, get over yourself.
I know. Come on, it's so ridiculous. I just something rubs me the wrong way. I think I've said it since day one with him, and I just, like I said, I don't even know if he should be back on the show if there's all these legal allegations against him now.
Yeah. And it's like all the women just like sat there the whole time. Like, no, I don't think anybody else really said anything that entire third episode, and everybody looked so exhausted. They're like, can we just wrap this up and be done with this? And they just kept talking over each other, which makes for a bad reunion. I thought like Andy handled it as best as he could, but it's just like, it went off the rails. And it's hard though too, because I think somebody said this online too. It's like the house husbands of the show have become such the main focus. And it's like, this is supposed to be like the housewives show. It's not the house husband show. So it's like, should they be taking a step back and we just focus more on the women going forward next season too? I don't know.
Yeah, it is kind of strange. What did you think about Dolores kind of avoiding the entire Frankie Jr. conversation, where I guess Frankie Jr. was working for Louis and company got shut down, or, you know, it was the details were not there.
No, the details weren't there.
Dolores did not want to go into it.
No. And I'm sure she's like, you know, kids are off limits. Like, I don't want to, like, I'm not calling Frankie Jr. like Teresa's calling Gia on the phone. And she's like, I don't want my son to be involved in this mess, because who knows like exactly what happened. But I saw something floating around that Frankie Jr. posed in a picture with Louis back as well after he was supposedly lost his job. So I don't know. I think that maybe he had a good experience with him, but I don't know. It's so hard to figure out who to believe in this mess.
I know. The only thing I'll say with Dolores, it's like when you don't talk about it, and I agree, keep the kids off limits, but Frankie Jr. is an adult.
That's true.
But what I'll say is it makes you want to dig further. You know, like I started like Googling it then.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah. I'm like, okay, so when did he get fired or when did he let go? Like, I don't know, but it was nice at the end that, Margaret and Jennifer, they're bearing the hatchet for now. It seems like Danielle and Rachel are moving on, but yeah, like we said before, I don't really know where the show goes from here.
No, I don't either.
Yeah. Well, Atlanta was a little fiery this week with Marlo still upset with Candy about her nephew passing away and Candy never sending flowers. It is kind of suspect that this is coming out 2 years after the fact, though.
2 years after the fact. And I didn't realize last week that this did not happen at Blaze.
No.
So what? Like, I don't really know why Candy didn't know him. And, what did she want her to do?
Right.
It wasn't her restaurant and she didn't know him. Yes, it was a former employee of hers, but I'm sure she has a ton of employees that she doesn't get to know very well.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's like you've spent so much time with her since then, and it's never been an issue. And it's like, are you just doing this to have a storyline this season? Like, what's kind of going on here, Marlo? And, and I think everybody's kind of seeing through it. Like Kenya's never really liked Marlo. But that's, but Candy and Marlo going at it at the end, like that got intense.
Really intense. I have to say I'm team Candy. Obviously it's a very sad thing. I don't want to take sides necessarily in such a sad thing, but I just don't think Candy had anything to do with any of it. No,
I don't think so either. I think that this is just a kind of like a non-issue. And Candy's like, why are we bringing this up? Like, what's the point? So, but I'm sure that this will play out over the next few days. It definitely will.
I love seeing Sheree as a grandmother. I thought that was a really sweet moment with her son, kind of admitting that she wasn't sure if her son was ready for this and seeing that he clearly is, and that is an adorable little kid.
Adorable. It's adorable. All right. Well, let's move on to our social spotlight of the week. Who caught your attention on social media?
Mine went to Andy Cohen. He shared a video driving in the car with his toddler in the back seat, just giving him a hard time. And I, as a mom of a toddler, found it very relatable. So take a look.
What did you just ask for?
Can you please turn on the Grateful Dead, please?
Ben, I love you so much.
Daddy, I already know that. Stop saying that.
Hi, highs.
Love it. Totally get it. Mine went to Dorinda Medley because the RHONJ Ultimate Girls Trip is underway. She posted this cute little reel of her getting ready to go to St. Bart's, and they've been posting some photos and things from that. So people are getting very excited. Sonia commented saying Dorinda style. Kelly Ben-Simone said, "Oh my gosh, love." So I think it's going to be a good season. And so many people are speculating that they think that Bethany is just going to drop in, but I don't know about that.
I don't know. How much is a Bethany drop in? I don't think Bravo can afford it.
Yeah, right? I don't know.
He's not doing a drop in without getting paid. So
seriously. Yeah, no, it's going to be a hefty drop in.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is it for this week's episode of Getting Real with the Housewives. Let us know in the comments, where do you think Jersey goes from here? Are you loving OC? Let us know, and we will catch you guys next week.
Bye.
For more news, content, and exclusive interviews, make sure to hit the sub, like, and bell button down below and visit usmagazine.com.